Okay, let's have a quick conversation. A few of my friends ask me from time to time, Dre, why'd you buy a camera for X amount of dollars when you've got a cell phone that has a perfectly capable camera on it, takes beautiful pictures, no one can really tell on social media anyway, yada, yada, yada. And all that's true. Cell phone cameras have gotten a whole lot better than what they were. They take amazing photos. Pretty much everyone, they take a photo on their cell phone, post it on social media, and that's the end of it. Because if you try and go into your camera roll and find things, it's going to be there forever. You're just scrolling, trying to find it, and nothing. But I say that to say that's just one avenue. There's a reason why there's still a market for cameras, such as what I'm recording on right now, and why cell phones haven't completely taken that over. So in this video, I'm just gonna quickly go over, basically who should use a cell phone camera and who should spend the money to use a higher end camera. We'll go into the professional, term within the video. First off, let's start by saying who needs to use a cell phone camera. Pretty much anybody. Anybody can use a cell phone camera, obviously, but to keep it specific, we're going to say that anybody that classifies himself as a tourist, recreationist, is that a word? I don't know. Anybody that's just doing it for fun, kind of like what point and shoot was. More so, it's that in the moment. I see something, I snap a photo, I'm gonna post it, share it, send it to somebody, that kind of stuff, and that's gonna be the end of it for that photo. It's easy, it's reliable, it's always there when you need it, yada yada, all that kind of stuff. You're not going to be spending a whole bunch of money on a dedicated camera because all you need is for it to do one specific thing. Like I said, you see something that's cool, amazing, you're able to capture it. You capture it, and then you share it to whoever it is that you want to share it to, however many times, different things like that. Cell phones nowadays, they're ranging from anywhere, in the higher hundreds of dollars and lower ends of thousands or $1,000, things like that. So that's your price range. So for right now, in my opinion, those are the people that I believe need cell phone cameras. Okay, who needs higher end cameras or high end cameras or professional cameras? Pretty much anybody that wants to make money or make a living off of it. Anybody that wants to do any type of print, any type of bigger production type deal. C, and this one's kind of, it's not necessarily necessary, but it's more so in line with anybody that wants to be taken seriously. The reason I say that, and I'll go in order. The reason anybody that wants to make money, do different things like that. These professional cameras, these high-end cameras, they offer more than what the camera phone can offer you. Usually, most likely, they are higher megapixels. They offer you more video capabilities, more controls with your photo settings, with your camera settings, with your video settings, different things like that. Depending on the different brand, people go into the color science and all that kind of stuff. I'm not really going to get into all that. But you've got more dedicated accessories to your high-end cameras than you do versus your camera phones. So you've got, and granted, yes, you do have, steady cams and stuff like that for your cell phone, but you've got higher-end gimbals, you've got better situated tripods, you've got multiple filters that you can throw on, interchangeable lens for one. Like, that is the main difference between high-end cameras and professional cameras and cell phone cameras. The other thing that you have is, I drew a blank. You've got mics, you've got different rigs that you can house your camera in, that you can put all these different accessories on. You can put, your mics on, or your mic, your external monitor. You can have your, you can have extra. You can have more stabilization. added to it, like so many different accessories you can add to these cameras to make them perform the way that you want to perform, get the shot that you're trying to get, and to do it all with, with one device, and to be able to be creative with it. That's the main thing. Your creativity is not stifled with these cameras. It's not necessarily, you can be creative with a cell phone camera, but you can't be as creative with a cell phone camera that you can with a professional camera or a high-end camera. B, and when it comes to making printing prints, large pictures, like you see on billboards, the side of buildings, magazine prints, just big posters, big frames that people put up in their houses, or in different offices, buildings, stuff like that. Having a higher end camera comes in handy with that, because with the higher megapixels, you're able to capture more data. You're able to the crop factor of it is a lot greater. With your cell phone, most of them are 12 megapixel cameras. There are some that do have higher megapixels, but even the ones that have higher megapixels, they still have smaller sensors. Your high-end professional cameras, they're usually going to be higher end, not higher end, they're going to be bigger sensors. Your full frame sensors, your medium format sensors, even not many people are using micro four thirds, but if you're using a micro four thirds, then hey, you've got that as well. But all those are bigger than the camera phone sensors. So you're able to crop in, still keeping the data. You're not necessarily distorting or changing the outcome of the photo, the quality of the photo. You're still able to have a quality photo that you can put out into the world for everybody to see and things like that. For social media, that doesn't really matter, because most of the time, higher end cameras, when you take a photo, anything like that, and you post on social media, a lot of people usually talk about how their photo seems less quality on the site than it does, on their computer or straight out of the camera, or when they print it out, different things like that. So you have to go through different avenues to try and do everything that you can to try and keep the photo as high quality as possible when you upload it onto social media. But in terms of making the prints, you're able to do those high-end prints with these cameras versus a cell phone. And then C, where it comes to the you look professional, the appearance that you give off, it's still, yes, it's 2021, yes, we can do so much more with so much less than people could back in the day. But in a lot of jobs, and almost any job, people still expect things to look a certain type of way. People, when they go see, or when they ask for a photographer, or when they ask for a videographer to come in and do a project for them, or to create something for them, they expect this person to walk in with a specific looking type of camera, a bunch of equipment, talking all types of jargon and yada yada yada. Whatever that person says, they're going to pay attention to that person a whole lot more and listen to them, figure out everything that they're saying, is true, factual, all that, versus someone that has, a cell phone camera, because they feel like someone that's coming in with a cell phone camera has no idea what they're talking about. They can't perform what it is that they're asking them to perform, and it makes them seem, amateur. It's also going to hurt you in the monetary side of it, because they're not going to offer you, high-end money. I'm not saying that every project that you get with a high-end camera, you're going to get high-end money. You're not. But you have a higher opportunity of being able to negotiate more money for your project versus, if you have a smartphone, different things like that. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible, because if you have a smartphone and you have, a portfolio of some type, and you can prove to people, hey, this is what I can do with this, you just got to, at the end of the day, you always got to sell yourself. So if you can sell yourself, then hey, it'll work out for you. But you got to do more work in the end when it comes to selling yourself and all that, if you have a cell phone camera versus if you have a high-end professional camera. So those are things that you got to take into consideration if you're trying to figure out which one is best for you. Okay, so now that you've heard everything that I've said, once again, disclaimer, this is 100% my opinion. You're probably sitting there thinking, all right, well, right now, this is what I want to do, and I need to go get a cell phone camera, or I need to stick with my cell phone camera, I'm good. Or you're saying, oh man, I heard everything he's saying, this is what I want to do, I need to go get a high-end camera, a more professional camera. And whichever route that you choose, whichever camera you end up choosing, that's fine. Just know that if you choose the route of getting a high-end camera, you don't necessarily have to dive right in and get the most expensive camera right away. Actually, I would highly suggest that you don't do that. What I would suggest doing, most likely you already have a cell phone, so you've already been taking pictures. That's what's gotten you intrigued. That's what's gotten you, thinking about moving up in a sense to a higher end camera. So what I would suggest you doing is starting low, getting yourself a cheaper camera that's going to give you better capabilities than what your cell phone camera is, but you're not necessarily going to break the bank. The reason I say that is because it allows you to grow as a photographer, as a videographer. It allows you to see if this really is something that you want to do, something that you want to grow with, because it is going to take time. Or did you just have like a fleeting moment, like, oh my gosh, I really want to do this, and then next the camera's on the shelf for 8 months and you never pick it back up again, and different things like that. So me personally, I started off with a Nikon D3000, all the way back in 2013, and actually here it is right here. This camera has absolutely no video capabilities whatsoever. It was a straight up, it is a straight up camera, DSLR. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was a 12 megapixel camera. So now it's literally the same as having a smartphone camera. But with me using it, people seeing me with it, different things like that, people were able to see that, hey, he's interested in this, is what he's thinking about, yada yada yada. Long story short, I've moved up. Now I've got the Nikon Z6 II. It's still not the highest end camera, as most of you know, and if you don't know, it's the Nikon Z7 II. But you've got, and to a lot of people in the industry, that's not even a professional camera. So you still got other cameras like the Sony A7R4, you've got the Sony A9, the Sony A1 that just came out, you've got the Canon EOS R, the Canon R5 and R6. So you've got multiple options, for high-end cameras that cost, a lot more than what my Nikon does. But it's still a step, in the right direction. I can save that money and use it towards, more accessories, more equipment, different things like that. So then in the future, when I do upgrade my camera again, or I just buy another body, I've already got all that, and I'm not necessarily continuously breaking the bank to try and get higher end cameras. But I would say that stepping stone is what you want to do. You just want to go step by step, strategically going step by step, moving from one camera to the next, as your creativity, as your let's see, how do I want to say it? As your technique, as your skill, as it grows, your camera and all your equipment will grow with you. All right, so for complete transparency, I'm not saying that you cannot be professional or you cannot create great content with a camera phone, with a cell phone camera. You can create great content with either one, whether you've got a camera phone, whether you've got a high-end camera. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you need to know the basics of photography. You need to know the basics of composition. There's so much behind the scenes stuff that you have to learn, stuff that I had to learn. And it's good to learn it with the cell phone camera and then move up to a higher end camera, to utilize it even more. So make sure that you know the basics and everything first before you just jump in and just start buying a whole bunch of stuff. But me personally, like I said, if you want to be taken serious in the game, at some point you are going to have to move up to those higher end cameras, pay the big bucks for those different things. And long story short, that's what I always tell my friends. I'm like, look, this is something that I want to do. This is something that I want to get into, so I'm gonna have to pay the money to do that. And it's like that in any trade, any hobby, any type of anything that you get into. At some point you realize for that right equipment or for the right stuff, you're gonna have to pay, and you're always willing to do that because it's something that you want to do. So that's it. Like I said, this is just a quick conversation. So let me know in the comments below if you feel like I'm completely wrong in everything that I said. Let me know what you use. If you use a camera phone for everything that you do, if you use a higher end camera, and let me know which higher end camera that you do use. Also, Let me know if you feel like, you know, more people are trying to push people away from paying for higher-end cameras, and they feel like they're forcing people to only, you know, use camera phones, or if you feel like that's just completely far-fetched and people are buying whatever it is that they want to buy. Don't forget to like and subscribe this video, please. Yeah, like this video, please. You know, it helps me out so much. Allows other people to see this video, allows other people to see my content in general, see my page, all that kind of stuff. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media. I've got all my links and everything posted below. Hit that subscribe button because there are more videos to come, not just on photography and stuff like that. Like I said, there's going to be a whole lot of stories that are going to be shared on this. There might be a few entertainment stuff posted on here. I'm not entirely too sure about that. But stick around. There will be more things within this realm and out of this realm coming on this page. So I thank you guys for stopping by, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.